V-Team, thank you so much for joining us for a very special Wednesday edition of Up to Speed Live. It's been a while since we've talked to Hans and Christy, and both of them will be joining us live here to talk about some pretty important topics here, of course. If you are watching live, make sure if someone's missed it on the replay, you can always send, retweet, nudge our V-Teamers to take a look at what we're about to discuss. As we mentioned, we've got some business updates from Hans. We're going to talk about COVID-19 as well. We're going to talk about COVID-19, what we want to do in terms of the direction of our business with Christy, and a lot more here. So, of course, the subject matter is serious, but at the same time, it is always nice to have our leaders on to give us a little boost here, because this is a time for us to continue finishing strong, to stay safe, and really look out for each other as a V-Team. With that, let's welcome back Hans to Up to Speed. Hans, it's always great to see you here.
Thank you, Andy. Great to be here. And all V-Teamers, it was some time ago since I was invited to be on Up to Speed, but here I'm back. A couple of things. I was reflecting earlier today when I had a conversation with the UN and the World Economic Forum about our response to COVID-19, that early in March we started with the strategy how we going to combat this fearful disease that is running around across the globe. Now, when I'm looking back on the 9 months that this has almost been running, I think our response has been correct. I mean, we always have prioritized the employees' health and safety first. And that continues because the resurgence of the COVID-19 is so severe again here. So that is the number one. And secondly, keep up the networks. And I think we have really done an astonishing job of doing that. So I want to remind you that the strategy we'll outline as a company and as a leadership, that is still intact. It's also, we have the strategy of actually having Christy and the emergency response team to take care of the daily COVID, so the rest of us could work with the business. And as I'm going to report out, we have worked with the business. It's just amazing of what things we have done in a year, which is so unprecedented. And lastly, also looking into what type of new opportunities can we create out of this, because it is a silver lining in all this COVID-19. It's a leapfrog of digitalization on some 5 to 7 years when it comes to using remote learning, telemedicine, live platforms, virtual live platforms, financial inclusion. And that's not only here in the US, it's across the globe that's happening. So, and that's also intact how we spend the time. So let me pivot a little bit to the business. I mean, a lot of things have happened. I mean, one thing, we just launched Las Vegas as the 8th mobile edge compute center. And remember, I talked about previously that mobile edge compute has actually two business models. One is for the public mobile edge compute, which when you run out to the edge of the network with all the storage and the processing to the edge, and you let the public do development on top of that. That we're doing with Amazon. We have 8 sites right now, and by year end we're going to have 10. We're unique in the world. We're the only one in the world in having that. That's a public sort of when developers can develop straight in. Then it's a private 5G mobile edge compute. That's why we build a custom-made private 5G network for an enterprise, if it's a retailer, big warehouse, or a factory, where they're going to enable it all with 5G and having processing at the edge. That's a private 5G mobile edge compute. There we have lined up a lot of new partners like GE, Honeywell, SAP, IBM, etc., to be partners of delivering that. Tammy and the team are working days and nights to see that we are really taking the advantage of the lead here. And we are actually on plan for everything we said that. Continue on the network side. We made a commitment also of 60 ultra-wideband cities by year end. I think we're on 57 right now, and I know the networks team is fighting every day to see that we're going to get to 60. We also committed to 10 5G home cities by year end, and guess what? We're already on 12, so the guys has actually delivered on that as well. This is important because these was also commitments we made to the market to actually have it done. And of course, we're also committed to have a nationwide 5G during 2020, and we have done that as well. So it tells you that the strategy we outlined, we still, in a COVID world, we have actually executed well on it. Another thing that we've talked about is, of course, our growth vectors. And one of the growth vectors that we're now talking a lot about is, of course, the personalization and customization. And we continue to be very on the forefront here. Last week, we announced Discovery Plus to be an offering for our customers. And why is that important? It's important because we're using the leverage of our network, our distribution, and our brand, which are all best in the market. And we can work with the best partners exclusively to bring that to our customers and migrate them to unlimited plans, because that's what is included there. So it's a very good way of dealing with it instead of owning it. And I think that we are now working with the best brands in the world. I mean, we have the Apple Music, we have the Disney Plus, we have the Discovery Plus coming out in the beginning of the year. We have a new opportunity in this network as a service strategy. So I'm very pleased to see it, and we have done quite a lot of other stuff as well. So Ron and the team, they are continuing that journey to delight our customers with new offerings and see that we really are giving value for the premium service that we have. Finally, a little bit around society. A lot of things were done there during the COVID. The most recently is what Tammy and the team is doing to support New York City with a 43 million sort of support for remote learning in the city of New York, where so many of the children doesn't have it. It's everything from teacher support to hotspot, Wi-Fi hotspots, etc., in order to see that we can continue to have these children getting education and not have a lost year, which is so important in the youth. So we continue to do those things, and unfortunately, we continue with the wildfires, and we have our network team out there combating every day. And finally, on what we're doing on the business side, I mean, not to forget, the sports season is ongoing. We have NFL going. We have Guru and his team doing a lot with their new applications, with the Super Stadium and all of that. And we see a great engagement digitally nowadays because we have less people in the stadium. So I'm very happy with that. So all in all, we have been doing quite a lot here recently. And before I end, I just want to come back to the COVID-19, as we are many of us working from home. And even though I have my roll up here, I'm at home as well, but it's just the way I show up. But I have to say that this has been a tough year for many of us, and for all of you V-teamers. It is so unprecedented, and the uncertainty what's going to happen, etc. Now we have a worst case just in the moment when it comes to COVID-19, and many of the V-teamers has got the COVID-19 or family and friends. So it is a tough situation regardless where you are in the world. The executive team discussed constantly together with Christy and the team what is the best way forward. I will let Christy talk more about it, but it's clear that going into next year, we will continue with the same policies that we have right now when it's come to COVID-19. So we will have the first quarter continue as is we're doing right now, very restrict. With our policies, the way we're dealing with offices, we will do the same. We think that's both responsible and the right priorities for our employees and for us as a company. So I know that Christy and Andy will talk more about that. So I hand it back to you two guys, but great to be back, and a lot of things are happening at the same time as we're having this very different or critical situation around us.
Absolutely, Hans, and thank you. It's wonderful to have you back, and of course, you can join us anytime on Up to Speed. But when you list the accomplishments and all we've done, that business update, it really swells up that pride in our chest. And from a competitive standpoint, we want to continue winning. But I think when we talk to our leaders and we talk about compassionate leadership, to have the humility of understanding that this pandemic is doing what it's doing, and we need to evolve with that. It's something that we're always constantly thinking about, and it's great to know that our executive team is doing that as well. So Hans, stick around. We'd love to have your final thoughts after Christy goes through some of our questions regarding COVID. So with that, I'd like to bring in Christy. You mentioned, Hans mentioned Citizen Verizon, and Christy, of course, is rocking her Citizen Verizon shirt proudly. How are you?
Thanks, Andy. Great. It's great to be here talking to the V team today. And actually, I think on my mind, and probably a lot of V teamers' minds, last time we were together, you were just recovering from COVID. So maybe how are you, Andy?
Well, thank you. I'm just about 100%, and the love that I received from our V team, I believe that love continues to heal. So thank you to everyone who sent a note. I'm still responding to many of them, so appreciate it, and thank you for checking in, Christy. And I've heard from so many V teamers who have had their own personal, whether it's themselves or their family members who've been affected by this, and they continue to do the balance. Not only are they making sure that they're keeping their family safe, themselves safe, but there's tremendous pride in being a part of our team and continuing to stay, to keep your eyes on the prize there, if you will. So as we think about, the end of 2020, we want to finish strong. Top of mind, we're going to get to our front line in just a minute, but for our office-based employees, Christy, what can we expect in January and beyond?
Thanks, Andy. And I think great setup from Hans for me here, for how the VLC is thinking about this. I think the most important thing to remember is that COVID-19 is still very much present and is going to require us to continue to remain vigilant and agile as we determine the best course for both our employees and our customers. We continue to see record case levels in countries around the world. And so we want to continue to operate in this adjusted state through the first quarter, as Hans just explained. And that means that for those who are working from home, they should continue to remain remote. And we have a number of employees that have daily access that were in group A, B, C, or D. Those individuals are constantly notified when it's their rotating week. And given the current circumstances, we're suggesting folks only exercise that access if it's business critical. We want to make sure we're doing our thing to keep folks as safe as possible. For our associates that are working from home, we have an agreement with the union to continue this through January, and we'll keep you posted for our developments and agreements with the union potentially beyond that. Over the next few months, we're going to continue to share updates as we always do. And as a reminder, our COVID webpage is kept up to date daily. We monitor very closely the Center for Disease Control, we call the CDC, the World Health Organization, sometimes called the WHO, as well as all of the various government agencies and officials around the world that are providing updates or mandates that we have to comply with.
And it's wonderful that we continue to keep a pulse with all that's going on in the world. It's really the only way that we can make the correct decision at the correct time here. So let's shift now, Christy, from our corporate and office-based employees to our frontline team members. We've been thinking about them every single day. They not only help our customers and our consumers, but they keep the network connected. So talk to us about how we're keeping those teams safe.
Thanks for that. So first, we've got some great protocols that our V teamers helped us develop earlier in the year when we had the very, very aggressive expanse of the COVID virus. And as we entered this third spike and wave, we really want to just continue to double down on these measures. So for our teams that are working in retail, we want to make sure we follow all of our current safety protocols, in particular from touchless retail. Teams have had the opportunity to hear from me, from Ronan, from Krista, and others about the great innovations our V-teamers did there. We have to wear our face coverings, and we want to make sure that we maintain social distancing in the stores. And we have protocols similarly for our customers that are accessing our premises. So we want to make sure that, where we can, we also follow additional state and local orders. And so it's possible V-teamers in one state will have some slightly different measures than others as states have put in curfews or retail restrictions and things such as that. So that's key messages for our retail team. Second, for the technicians, very similar to retail, we want to make sure we keep following all the safety protocols and leveraging all of the innovations our team helped develop. We want to make sure we wear masks, especially when entering customers' homes or businesses, that we maintain social distance. And then when we're working on site, we continue with our customer pre-checks, where we confirm that it's safe to enter a premise by confirming no one on site has active symptoms. We also have agreements with the unions to extend home garaging through the end of December, and we're going to keep you updated as we get additional developments beyond that. And then for anybody working on site, whether in our stores, in the field, or in an office, we want to make sure you continue to certify through the return to office application, which is part of our safety procedures. This has been deployed globally for all of our employees, our visitors, our contractors, and just this week we went live for Verizon Media. So now anybody coming into any Verizon premise from those categories is coming in through our RTO app, and that's key to also helping maintain workplace safety.
That's wonderful to hear, and it's great to see that we are making sure that we address each group and we make sure that their needs are met at every step of the way here. Some questions coming in, Christy, about, of course, vaccines. We've been talking about this both in our families and the news, and you know, public health officials, government officials, they're, of course, determining the best case for distribution. What are your thoughts on vaccines and how that applies in our sphere with the V team?
Thanks for that question. Yeah, Andy, this is a great question. A lot of us and a lot of the V team are actively following these developments. So I think it's very encouraging to see the quick progress that the pharmaceutical companies have made and continue to make. They're still in the early stages of determining how they will be able to safely and effectively scale both the production and the distribution of those vaccines to the population. And various agencies are in different stages around the world of approving those vaccines. So that's sort of where we are. I think just as we started this broadcast, Canada approved one of the vaccines, and I think we should start to see countries around the world, including the United States, work through their plan. For example, in the United States, yesterday there was a meeting held on vaccine and vaccine distribution plans. The UK was highly publicized. The first citizen received a COVID-approved vaccine there. And so the thing we need to keep in mind is, you know, we have to, where we are as Verizon, we have to have federal government or drug approval agencies have to approve the vaccines. We believe each country will create a vaccine distribution plan that we will have to follow. So we are engaging and observing and monitoring how that may apply to us. I think realistically, what we expect is vaccine approvals and distribution plans. We think that they'll firm up here in the month of December, possibly through January. And we expect that countries will prioritize vulnerable populations. We saw in the UK, for example, elderly over 80 and over 90. We anticipate countries will also prioritize emergency workers and certain categories of critical workers, whether that be hospital workers, first responders, and the like. Again, we don't have any direct insight into that at this stage, but we can look to prior ways that vaccines have rolled out and some of the discussion that we've been pulled into and asked our opinion on. So if you think about that for the general public, with that in mind, it's likely that the vaccine or vaccines approved in various countries around the world will not be available to the general public much before the March or April timeframe. It could be sooner, it could be later, but that's in general how we're thinking about it. And so we just thought we would kind of share that with you today. And a couple of things I also want to make sure the V team knows. While we're very optimistic about all those vaccine developments, in the meantime, we still have to be as vigilant as possible about all of our COVID safety protocols. And it's going to be a combination of sustaining our vigilance and our stamina to follow COVID safety protocols while a vaccine gets introduced and begins to make its way through society and the population at large. So we'll have to do both for some period of time. And finally, I want to highlight vaccines are covered under our medical plans, so employees and their dependents should expect that the cost of the vaccines will be free to our employees.
And it does feel, a little bit like a sliver of light at the end of the tunnel there. And I think that's where these discussions keep ramping up is we're seeing, okay, maybe we're turning the corner now. And it's great to know that we're acknowledging and seeing what the world is doing here. But as you mentioned, Christy, I think there's a lot of us and our families thinking about, okay, I can wait for this, but I still need to stay safe. So just as we go over what we've done so far, share with us what you'd like our V-teamers to think about when it comes to keeping themselves and our loved ones safe right now.
I think here we are coming up on 9-10 months of having lived with COVID, depending on what part of the world our V-teamers are watching from, and in some cases 11 months. So there's definitely COVID fatigue that's settled in. And so I would just like to kind of remind everybody of some of the things we know we can all do to keep ourselves safe. First is face coverings. A lot has been proven scientifically that wearing face coverings does reduce the transmission rate. And so we would just like to continue to remind V-teamers at work and on site, wear your masks. And, this is always a good idea, even if no one is around. Second, we know social distancing is important. So please practice social distancing at all work locations and with any customers and with each other. Certify through the RTO tool. This is a really important way in which we're able to make sure we know who's working outside the home on the V team, and then we can help you if we have any instances of COVID cases. There are local guidelines, so please, we have the COVID page updated constantly. And again, lots of orders coming out right now with various, for example, parts of California have moved to some lockdown phases. New Mexico's passed some specific rules, Pennsylvania, Virginia. So it's really different from wherever you are. So we educate our leaders, and so we're communicating that, but it's a source for our employees. And then finally, if you aren't feeling well, please remain home. We have a COVID hotline we want you to call with our team if you're experiencing any symptoms. And what we want you to do is make sure you reach out to your healthcare provider and get tested. That's free. We also want to highlight that our medical provider system in the United States right now in particular are experiencing very high volumes. And so in response to that, we have stood up a direct arrangement with CVS for you to be able to get tested there. And so on the COVID-19 webpage, there's information on the CVS COVID-19 testing resource. This will allow you to find out by state and where you live by zip code, where is an eligible location to go and get a COVID test through CVS. Again, we're standing this up real time. More information is on the webpage, and this is to help address V-team concerns about the currently testing system capacity that's out there. And then finally, we have the case team standing by, ready to help you, support your needs, and do everything we can to get you well and get you able to, stay connected. I do want to add, Andy, some other cautions. We saw, obviously, Thanksgiving was a week ago. We're just now starting to see the impacts of Thanksgiving. The travel levels over Thanksgiving weekend were the same as in 2019. And so if there were 6.5 million travelers worldwide in 2019, that was the same level that was achieved the last week. And instead of 40% of those travelers being from the United States, over 60% were from the United States. So we are definitely seeing the aftermath of that level of travel volume. And while we haven't seen the restrictions implemented that were implemented in the March and April timeframe, that doesn't mean it's safe to be out in the open and having group activities and convening in large public settings. In fact, it's more important now than ever. Over 90% of the world's population is living in parts of the world where we're entering winter and mostly indoors. And because COVID is transmitted airborne, and people are now going to be more indoors, it's really, really important that people follow the guidelines, not just all the things Hans and I and the VLC ask you to do at work, but those, just because you're not working doesn't mean it's any safer around COVID. So please follow these guidelines outside of work too. Don't go to large gatherings. Don't go to public places indoors with large groups of people. To the extent that you can avoid travel, please do. Wear your face masks, observe social distancing, and all the best practices we're sharing for you here for what to do as a V team or on site, we would strongly encourage you to do outside of work as well.
Absolutely. It is so essential to make sure that not only when you think about these practices that you're not thinking about just, protecting yourself, but I know that when I found out that I was infected, my immediate thought was who was around me? Who was I around? And so think of those loved ones as you do practice those safe procedures there. Before we go, Christy, I want to ask specifically about, obviously, we're checking out some new states introducing executive orders. You mentioned, there's places that are going to tighten protocols, and they're different state by state. How are we handling those differences?
We for sure are going to comply. We always comply with the guidelines as recommended by the scientists and the experts, as well as local governments. And so we're in the process of digesting some updates to policies that the CDC recommended last week, where they're recommending consideration for potential reduction in quarantine timeframes from 14 to 10 days. Some states are still working through updating their policies to be in line with that, or considering whether they'll be in line with that. And so we're doing the same. So I would say stay tuned, and we're communicating that throughout this week. And then, as I mentioned, some states are moving into restricted business curfews and other kinds of things, because what's happening is in the United States specifically, we have now had multiple days in a row with over 200,000 cases, and there's over 120,000 people hospitalized from COVID, and many hospital systems in the United States are reaching capacity. And so I think we're at a critical threshold where states and communities, counties may take specific measures because their goal is to keep their case levels below their hospital max capacity. And so that's really what we're dealing with there.
And Christy, before we get to your final thoughts and Hans's final thoughts here, I just want to make sure and just emphasize the testing. It can be difficult. In fact, I was trying to get tested again. It took me a while. I did pull that negative test. I'm glad, but it was tough. So if we can go back and revisit what you mentioned about CVS, I know you and your teams are working to make sure that the testing resource provides some availability there.
Yes.
And that more information is coming soon, correct?
It's on the COVID webpage right now, and we've got a direct arrangement with CVS, and we're working with a number of others to stand those up as well, so that we have alternatives to either publicly available test sites that may have overruns right now, or getting in to see your general physician that may or may not have appointments available. So on the webpage, you could go to CVS. Verizon will pay for your test.
Excellent. That right there, compassionate leadership in action there. Thank you to you and your HR team, Christy. So as we round out this conversation, and thank you for walking through it all, your final thoughts on all that we're dealing with, not only COVID, but obviously we want to make sure we finish the year strong, but stay safe in the process.
I would just re-echo what Hans said. I think what the V team has done this year is just unprecedented and amazing. And I'm so proud to be part of the V team. And I think we have to just stay really together on following all these protocols to keep each other safe and keep our families and loved ones safe for the next, 10, 12 weeks, however long we're in for here with the winter slog and the time it's going to take to get a vaccine distributed at scale, as well as the time it will take for all of that to work through. So we can't lose our vigilance around all these protocols.
Absolutely. And one more time, I know I say this every time I see you, Christy, but thank you to you and your HR team on a personal level for supporting me and the journey with COVID. And I know everyone who is affected by this on our V team feels the same way about the support they're receiving. So thank you so much, Christy. Hans, we'll send it back to you for final words. We talked through a lot, and there's so much to celebrate, but there's also so much to make sure that we keep sacred and safe. Your final thoughts today, please.
Yeah, it's really a mixed situation we're living in, because we need to be realistic. I think Christy and our team is doing a great job to keep the latest information being current. And I cannot reinforce enough that stay current with the information. There are websites, there are hotlines you can call into in all these times, because ultimately our priority is clear. The safety and health of all the V-teamers is the number one. And then to see that our networks is keeping up, and the networks are going well. I mean, Kyle and the whole network team is doing an outstanding job to keep the networks up and allocating more capacity. And not only doing that, they're building the best bloody 5G network in the world at the same time. So it is a hard year to both be happy and then feeling the uncertainty that we have around us. And that's usually the worst thing you can have, uncertainty. And I think that was also why the executive team thinks it's better now we say that we continue as is into the first quarter. So we have that uncertain away, even though we would all love to, at least for the ones that are usually working in office, coming back a little bit more frequent and be in the office. But given the situation around us, that's not responsible nor the right decision at the moment, as Christy outlined. So I think that sums it up. I think that as we're going into the next week and after that holiday, I just want to say, remember to take the time to recharge your batteries, but also remember to reach out. because this is going to be a holiday season wherever you are on this globe, different. You're going to be having friends, family, colleagues that are not with you for many reasons. And to reach out to them that's going to be alone in different places. I mean, that's hard. It's very different from anything earlier. I can just see on myself. I mean, I have my family in Sweden. I cannot see them. I have a parent that is alone in these times. And yeah, think about that and remember that small call and that little SMS you can send, how important it is, because that gives you some energy at least for that day that somebody is thinking about you. And that's what I'm going to do as we move into this holiday season. But before that, I have a lot of things to do because the year is not over. That goes for all the V-teamers. So I would never end by not saying that we have still some work to be done. I know that all the units are working fiercely to see that we're delivering what we're expecting to do to our customers. So that will be on my final note. Remember, 2020 is not over. And as Andy will say, I will be back early in 21 and talk about what we need to do in 21. But for now, I'll leave it on 2020.
Perfect. And a great reminder and a great sentiment to leave with. And Hans, I'm with you. I've got my SMS ready. I'm calling Mom after the show, saying hello. And,
great.
Hey, speaking of SMS, you and Christy are getting all kinds of love on Periscope and on Twitter. And to our V-teamers watching online on Twitter, make sure if there's someone out there in the V-team world that maybe needs to see this or just missed it live, you can always retweet. You can always push that replay there. So thank you to both. And before we go, a quick reminder, Hans did remind folks in January we will be having a meeting. So let's put up the slide because there is one more quick homework assignment for all of you folks. If you have questions, and obviously we went through quite a few questions today, but you may have more. If you got a question for Hans and the leadership team, submit your 2021 kickoff meeting on Up to Speed Live. That's happening Monday, January 4th, noon Eastern, right here on Up to Speed. You will get an email later today as well. And with that, we say thank you to Hans, thank you to Christy, thank you to all of our teams, making sure that our V team is safe and that we continue to finish 2020 strong. So make sure you pick up that SMS and reach out and make people feel good and stay safe, stay healthy, stay joyful. And until next time, you're Up to Speed.